Hi, my name is Cheyenne Ergleen. Now, I know what you're thinking.
Why in the world is she creating a Snapchat video as part of her administrative leadership project? Yes, I am, because this is the future. And if people will listen to what I have to say, then I've done my job. Okay, time to carry on. I would love to talk to you today about something that is near and dear to my heart.
Reading.
Reading is all the talk in today's school systems.
I guarantee you, if you walk into any school and ask what their students struggle with the most, they're going to tell you, yeah, our reading scores need to improve. And you know what?
I would like to change that.
I've been teaching 4th grade for 4 years now. And when I come across a student that doesn't like to read, I ask them, why don't you like reading? They tell me,
Reading is boring. It doesn't interest me. I just don't like it. However, I've had the opportunity to work with students that love to read. Honestly, they could not get enough of reading.
I know, you may not believe me when I say this.
But I physically had to take a book out of my student's hands once so he wouldn't be late for gym.
I know. I felt like the cruelest teacher in the world. And you know what truly hurts my heart? Is when I have to tell my kids, all right, kids, time to put your books away. And when you tell them that, they all moan and they say, no, not already. That, my friends, is a beautiful problem to have.
The real question is, how can we bring that kind of love and joy into reading for every single student? Now, if you are like me and you want to change the educational world one page at a time, then I believe we can do it.
We need to make each child say, no, not already. No, not already.
Just as I am doing with you right now,
We need to increase student engagement and bring joy into reading.
my project this year was to incorporate read-alouds into my Reader's Workshop mini lessons. I also integrated the use of Howard Gardner's multiple intelligences. Hey, if we truly want to build reading skills and foster lifelong learning habits, then Albert Einstein once said, "Everybody is a genius, but if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it will live its whole life believing it is stupid." Now, I really just want you to think about that.
I'm going to ask a very weird question. Is that fish actually stupid? No! However, if someone provided that fish with the open sea,
It would flourish.
it would be happy.
It would be successful. It would be a genius. Each student that walks through the doors of my classroom is unique.
They all learn differently. They are smart,
They have the ability to flourish.
and they deserve to be happy.
However, if I don't provide the tools they need, they will struggle to be successful.
This connects to why I believe in the use of Howard Gardner's multiple intelligences. There are 8 intelligences. However, it's important to note that you can be strong in more than one of them. There's the musical and auditory intelligence,
The visual and spatial intelligence,
the verbal and linguistic intelligence, the logical and mathematical intelligence, the bodily and kinesthetic, the interpersonal intelligence, the intrapersonal intelligence.
and naturalistic intelligence.
Essentially, what Gardner was posing to people is that you should not label one another as smart or not smart. Everybody has an intelligence,
A strength.
an area that they learn best in.
You know, as an educator, it is my job to cater to my students' strengths and make reading enjoyable to them.
Now, I'm not saying saying that they shouldn't get challenged or pushed out of their comfort zone or stretched. I'm just saying I know how we could bring joy to them. Okay, this study was done to see if students found joy in reading through these teaching practices. Let's be honest, I also wanted to find out the effectiveness of read-alouds.
This study was done with 20 fourth grade students. I began the school year by offering some clarity on what each intelligence means. I then provided a multiple intelligence survey to each student to find out how each individual learns best. Throughout the school year, I incorporated various teaching strategies to connect with each student's intelligence.
A few of these strategies included, but are not limited to, reading outdoors, reading aloud to the class,
Reading independently,
reading with a friend,
sequencing the events that took place during their reading,
drawing illustrations about their story,
writing about their reading,
having a discussion about their books,
and so on. As part of this project, I wanted to incorporate a read aloud a day and connect it to a specific standard within my mini lessons. In promoting a positive culture of literacy within my classroom and catering to the needs of my students, I was able to see growth in their learning.
I discovered that the power of choice is a high motivator, in that students are in charge of their own learning.
As Barry Gilmore wrote in an article,
the trick is to stock your classroom library with high-interest books from a variety of genres, talking about the books, and giving your students time to read.
At the beginning and at the conclusion of the study, I collected data on the reading comprehension of my students. At the beginning and at the end of the year, I handed out a survey to see how they rated their joy and love of reading.
I have good news.
From the use of read-alouds and the multiple intelligences, my students' stamina doubled. %88 of my students increased in their reading levels, and 70% of my students increased their scores on their response to intervention comprehension tests that increasingly got more difficult throughout the school year.
I have more good news.
94% of my students rated their joy for reading higher than they did at the beginning of the school year.
I understand that these percentages are not perfect and that there is plenty of room for improvement. However, it is clear that there is a correlation between these teaching practices and their joy of reading. I have created a 3-year budget in order to make this kind of teaching occur.
I understand the importance of parental involvement along with the community, so I'd love for them to join us in the future of this process. Ultimately, the next steps to make this project successful in the future is to continue collecting data from students. And get all staff on board by showing them your data and discoveries, so that way they can bring joy of reading into their own classrooms.
Let's be honest. You were not expecting a project like this. But I kept your attention, just like we have to do for our own students, even when it takes us out of our comfort zones.
Ultimately, the class is your stage and your students are the audience. Let's engage their full attention for the time that we have them.
And let's bring joy into reading again.
Thank you for listening.